So I was asked how I would clean my tracks, especially given all of the amount of track that is going to be in tunnels on my layout. The vast majority of this over here is all going to be underground. All of those transitions from one grade to another, from one level to another, are going to all be underground. And I was able to find a tank car, a rail car, at one of the sites in the U.S. And you basically fill it on this end with a cleaning fluid, whatever you're using. I'm just using isopropyl alcohol, but I heard that's really not the best. Somebody had mentioned a better cleaning product, and I'll have to go find that video and figure out what that is and see how well it works. And then you open this valve a little bit until you get a drip. You can see in between here, let's move over here a little bit. You can see in between, there's a little spring there and it drips down. And then this plate on the bottom holds a felt, basically a felt pad like this, that you just drag around the track. And this is what happens. This came off of my green line that I just completed the full loop on after sitting all winter, because I haven't done anything with my trains all winter. And 2 times around the green line, that's what came off. So you know it works. The problem is this thing's very heavy. You're not going to pull it up and down hills without a pretty powerful locomotive, or up hills. What I would say is always start from the top and just run the train downhill, and always pull it. Don't try and push it. I tried to push it, and I hit a bad spot, and the track is derailed and fell off the layout and hit the ground, and everything fell apart. And I put it all back together because I had more trucks and stuff. But it is very heavy. And so it can get ugly. So I would recommend pulling it. Always pull downhill if you have hills, if you can. I'm able to pull it up some of my hills with the consist with the 2 SD9s on my N gauge layout, and it seems to work okay. But I'd rather just pull it downhill. That way I'm not struggling to get it up the hills and picking up a lot of dirt in the process of the wheel spinning, pulling this thing up the hills. Like I said, it is kind of heavy. And I'm going to show you how to put this, how I put the felt on and fill it up. And then I'll just show you how I get this started running around the track. So I cut a piece of felt, as you can see, and this comes in a bundle. When I bought this, it only came with a couple of pieces, but you can buy extra of this. So I cut off a piece, and then I'll lay it on here. Quite simply, you just lay it in, make sure it's about even on both sides, and then make sure it's square on the plate as well. And then just push the clips down, try and keep it pretty tight. And that's it. Now that's on, and it looks pretty good. As you can see, it's got a little gap there. But so now what I'll do is I'm going to fill this up with alcohol. When you buy it, it comes with a little syringe that you can use to put whatever cleaning fluid in you want. And it actually has an extra hose on it, but I found the hose to be more of a pain. So I just pour water in a glass, or the alcohol in the glass. And then I usually like to turn it sideways and then just carefully push the alcohol in. It doesn't want to go in real well because of the air exchange. And if I open it up like this, it'll allow me to put it in for at least a little bit, but then all the alcohol will come out the bottom. So I have to close up that while I'm in the process of filling it. And that looks to be pretty full. So yes, I made a mess, you can see. And the pad, I'm sure, is pretty wet right about now. I put this back on. And then they say to leave this a little bit loose after you put it on, loosen it up a little bit. And then this, you're going to open up until you see a drip about every 10 seconds. Now, this pad is soaked right now, so I don't have to worry about getting it wet. But you open the valve enough so that you get a slow drip about 1 every 10 seconds onto the pad. And then I'm just going to mount this on my layout and hook it up to my locomotives. And this red line hasn't been cleaned in a long time, so this is going to take a little bit of effort, and I'm probably going to have some points where it stops on its own, which is, you know, why I'd rather push it, but it isn't going to allow me to do that. So I'm just going to run this around the track. I'm not going to video the whole thing, but I'm going to show you what it looks like after it runs around the track. We're going to take this around through my reverse loop. I'm hoping it goes through this particular switch. And you saw it stall there because I have a dirty track, and so this is going to clean that track. And so as you can see, you just drag it around the layout on each section of railway, and it will clean the track. I found it, like I said, I found it pretty amazing how clean it got the track. I will tell you, it doesn't like turtle switches unless they're perfect, because I've seen it hang up on some turtle switches every once in a while. So if you're not using turtle switches, it'll be fine. And I also, as you can see, I don't have any ballast down, so I don't know how that's going to affect how this thing works when it's all said and done. But as we drag it around, it's quite simple. As soon as it comes back around here into the yard, I'm going to go pick it up, and I can show you what it looks like on the bottom. Oh. So there was an example of an imperfect track, and it disconnected because it's so heavy, and actually it derailed. That's the one thing about it. Any imperfections in your track, it's going to derail. Just because of the weight and the spring load on the bottom of this, will cause it to jump a little bit, and it's, the wheels just don't sit tight enough. But that's what happened in just that amount of track. That's how much it took off. So it does a pretty darn good job of cleaning the track, but it's a little finicky. So it kind of drives me nuts. So when I clean track, if it's areas that I can easily get to and reach, then I'll just do it by hand. And if not, in the tunnels and stuff, I'll use this. I don't have a ton of switches in the tunnels, and all the track that I've put down in the tunnels, I've gone through and made sure that they're perfect. That section of track over there, I just tore it up and redid it because I didn't like the way it was set up. And I haven't cleaned up all the solder joints and all. So there you go. I'll see if I can figure out where I actually bought this. I think it was one of the places, Model Train Stuff, I believe, out of Maryland in the U.S. And it was over $100. I can tell you it ain't cheap. But it certainly works, and it was worth the money, because once I put all the scenery in and cover up a lot of this track, it'll be impossible to get to a lot of that stuff. But I'll run this over every single one of those and make sure that I don't have any failures or derailments. I can get to the derailers that'll be in the tunnels, from underneath the layout or from the back of the layout, but I don't have to worry about it. So I want to make sure my tracks are damn near perfect so I don't have derails and stuff like what just happened there.